Higher frequency you, higher frequency me, higher frequency university.
Blessings, YouTube. Blessings, everyone. Good morning. The jingle, I know. And welcome back to Higher Frequency You. I have apparently overslept this morning. I didn't really know that it's possible for a morning person to oversleep, but I did. And so this is going to be a very short but very potent and powerful segment. Today I wanted to talk about empathy and the art of caring, or rather, I'm going to call it the forgotten art of caring, because I just feel like we as people have kind of forgotten this art and almost traded it in for caring about other things, inanimate objects, material things. We have replaced our care for each other with concern and care for things and money. So, what is empathy exactly? Empathy, not to be confused with sympathy, apathy, or even pity, is one's ability to feel what another person is feeling. Not just another person, just another being. And what I mean by that is to share that feeling. So someone's telling you a story, we went to work this morning and everyone was looking solemn, and I'm sitting there wondering what's going on, and I get to my desk and there's a pink slip. So I had to go. I came home and I was just all broken up, and as that person is talking and they're describing the situation, they're experiencing feelings as they're talking. And so when you empathize with someone, you're listening to the feeling. You're not really, you're paying attention to the words and you're understanding the situation, but it's not a visual understanding where when someone explains something, you visualize going to work, and you visualize them going to their desk, and you visualize them seeing this, discharge notice. Basically, it has to do more with the feeling. So where as they're talking, you're feeling that, that feeling when you go to work, you feel good because you're getting ready to make some money because you got to take care of your families. And these are your daytime people. For most people, they bond with their co-workers. So, you're going to work, you're feeling happy, you're feeling good, you're doing what you normally do. And then you see that notice. That evokes a feeling, a sentiment. It has to. Because we are people. And that's the beauty of empathy, that we all possess the capacity to feel each other's feelings and share them, but we choose not to. And the other thing that I found out is that women actually possess a bigger capacity, or maybe I shouldn't call it a bigger capacity, but possess a more innate capacity, meaning that we're just hot-wired that way. I'm not man bashing. I'm not saying that men can't be sensitive, because as you know, over the last course of the past couple of years, men have become more and more sensitive to the point where some even want to become a woman. But women are more empathetic. Now, that doesn't mean that someone can't learn to be empathetic. That doesn't mean that someone can't begin and kind of cultivate that capacity. And so that's what today's segment is about. I think that it's important that we learn to feel for each other, because we're living in a time now where money is the priority and then material things. I can remember when I was younger, when we didn't have all this technology, when you cared for someone, it was a direct act. Compassion, that's what they call it. Compassion is the action to empathy. It's the answer to empathy. So when you meet someone, and and when I say meet someone, it could be someone that you know. When you talk to someone that you know and they're telling you, what happened to them, like the story, we'll go back to the story. They got their pink slip. So the compassionate part of that would be for you to say, well, hey, they're hiring at my job. Come on, let me take you. And so now you've taken that empathetic feeling that you had for them, where you could understand the loss, because that's income, that's family, and all the other things that go along that are attached to your money, to your job. But you've somehow taken that feeling on, and you say, wow, I know how I would feel, and the thing that I would need is another job. So you offer that person an opportunity to get another job. That is an act of compassion. You see people on the road, panhandlers, and lately there's a lot of people that simply do not have, which is so bizarre, because we live in such a wealthy country, and the world does have all the resources to take care of all of its beings. But however, you pass by, man, he's got a sign, need work or need food, need anything, have a family. And some people will, pass by and get a job type thing. Instead of being here, you need to go apply for a job. That's not empathy, and that's not sympathy. It's kind of, I want to say, borderline pity. I don't really like pity, because pity is a little more arrogant. Pity is you see the person from up here. You're slightly a little better. You're aware of their misfortune, but it's not for you. But when you empathize with that person, it's from here. So they're here and you're here because you have taken on that feeling. You hooked yourself into it. And so an act of compassion would either be to give them food, which you can do, which to me is still a little arrogant, because you're like, oh, poor unfortunate you, here's some food, you're hungry. But an act of true empathy would be to try to understand what it takes to come out in public, hold a sign, what it takes. What is it that brings a man or a woman with their children to that corner? Try to understand that feeling, that hunger, that need. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with shelter. It has to do with hunger. They hungry. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about empathy. When you see the homeless people on the street, you don't look at them and say, ooh, you look at them and you say, wow, I can't even imagine. Because some things I can't empathize, because it's just too great. I think it will hurt me, because I just don't even know if I'm that strong. So when I see those people that don't have the things that I have, I won't call them less fortunate than me, because I don't really believe that just because I have material things that makes me fortunate and wealthy. That's not my currency of choice. So when I see those people, I hurt. I go home and I almost don't want to sleep on my bed, because I just feel like it's crazy that I have a bed, and then here's this person who's probably no better, no worse, might even be better. I don't know. But it's a person, and the feeling of knowing what it's like to be cold is what makes me have compassion for them, and make me will go back to that person and maybe bring them a blanket, or even call a shelter. I've done that several times. I've called shelters and say, there's a family here, or there's a man here, or there's a such and such. And the shelters actually go out and get the people, and they bring them in. And how I know this is because, like I said, I've called, and then I follow up, because I'm nosy like that. But anyway, that was it. I don't want to, keep going on and on and on. So empathy, the ability to feel another's emotions. That's what's missing in the world. We are so cold and so callous. Everybody's so arrogant. They're all smug, and they're all fancy cars and trying to do this and on their, on their path, on their journey, which is well and great. But the main journey, again, is to become compassionate, is to become light of spirit and heart. That is how one becomes enlightened. It's not how big your bank account is, how fancy your car, how big your house. how popular you are on Facebook. That's not what's going to get it. What's going to get it is your heart, your ability to give from your heart. And when you are empathetic, you are able to neutralize your ego, you're able to humble yourself, and you might even be able to be compassionate enough to help that person, which is what we're missing. So, homework for this week is to listen with your heart. Do not only listen with your ears as people are talking to you today and this weekend. Try to feel what it is that they're going through, even if they're not conveying it properly, because that's another thing and that's another topic. Vocabulary, words. We're limited by our words, and sometimes our emotions are way, way greater. So as people are talking to you, feel them. When you're talking to someone and they say, "Oh, I feel you on that," that's a person I like to talk to, because I can say to myself, "All right, they get it. It's not about the situation. It's about me. They're listening to me." And that's the difference. So the homework again, feel what people are saying to you, and also see if you generate that feeling as well. As you're talking to people, see if they're getting your feelings. See if they're understanding how you feel, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. We communicate, we exchange these feelings and these emotions with each other, because that's what makes us human. So that, and then the second part, this we'll call extra credit. If you can understand the person's feeling, then I want you to piggyback onto that and see if you can somehow add on with an act of compassion. And it doesn't always have to be something bad, because sometimes people are not feeling bad. I'm not always feeling bad. I don't always have a bad story. In fact, most of my stories are happy stories. So, when people talk to me, they feel good. I leave them with a good feeling, and they want to come back and talk to me, because that's just who I am. I give off that feeling. So that's what I want you to do. Focus in on how you feel when people talk to you, and focus also on what kind of feelings you're giving people as you're talking to them. So that was it. Thank you for coming back. I am EmpressTee. I am abundantly, graciously, and infinitely yours. Thank you for watching. Blessings.